right here. If yours isn't showing up, you can always go Tools, Pro Grids, and open up the Pro Grids window. And the first thing that we want to do is make sure to enable snapping right here. We can also show and hide the grid using this button here. And we can change the snap value up here from 3 to something like 0.5. So it's going to snap every 0.5 units. Now, if we click and drag, you can see that it's actually snapping into place. Now I want to go ahead and rotate this entire room. So I'm going to select our rotation tool and click and drag while holding down Control in order to snap in increments. And I'm then simply going to move this over and align it with our current door frame. Something like that looks good. And we've now added a room to our level. We can of course drag in stuff from other folders in order to populate this room. So let's go under Prefabs, Level, and let's take under Walls. And here we have a prefab called Wall Window, which we can simply click and drag in order to place into our scene. Again, we can rotate this around and put it wherever we like. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate and put one over here as well. Now it's a good idea while doing this to stay organized. So inside of a hierarchy here, let's select our wall window. Let's select the second one we just created. I'm holding down Control to select multiple objects at once. And let's also select our room. Let's take all of these and drag them under our level category. There we go. So now we can easily find them. And whenever we're done making modifications to our level, we want to make sure that we tell our enemies how they can move through it. We do this using a navigation mesh. So if we go to the left here, we see the nav mesh surface object. As you can see, this shows where our enemies can move, and it definitely tends to avoid walls as well as obstacles. However, our new room and new obstacles don't seem to be included in this navigation mesh. So all we need to do is really just rebake it, and we do that by hitting the bake button. And right away you can see that it calculates paths that go around our obstacles. Awesome. So with that, we're ready to start adding in more enemies. Let's again go under Prefabs. This time let's go under the enemies folder, and let's just take an enemy hoverbot. Let's place it in the level here. I'm going to put this one behind the wall window, and I'm going to duplicate it and put one over here as well. Again, it's a good idea to stay organized, so I'm going to select both of these and put them under the enemies category. And now one of the really cool things is that we can of course drag in as many enemies that we'd like and place them all around, but we can also edit individual settings for these enemies inside of the inspector. As you can see, there are a bunch of different things that we can change about our enemies here. For example, if I select the second hoverbot here, we can see that this outer radius that marks the detection range is currently overlapping with some of the other rooms, which is not something I would like. I think it would be better if our enemies don't detect our player before we're inside the room. So let's simply decrease the detection range here by clicking and dragging until it's within that room. That looks much better. And if we now hit play, we can of course move into the first room here and kill that enemy. And if we move into the second one, we can see as soon as we step into that room, the enemies will start firing on us. And we've now created a cool new part to our level. Awesome. So that should give you an idea of how you can quickly add gameplay to your game. But what if you want to customize the look of it? Well, currently I think a lot of this looks like a boring shade of gray. I would like to go for a dark hell-like look. So to change the feel of our level, let's go under FPS. Let's go inside of the art folder, and here's a separate folder for the materials. Now I want to change some of the materials for the level itself. And in here we can see that we indeed have a bunch of different materials controlling the different colors of our level. If, for example, we want to change the color of the walls, well, those are split into two separate materials, one for each shade of the checker pattern. So if we take, for example, the wall dark gray here and turn that into some kind of dark red, we can see that really changes the aesthetic of our level. Let's actually copy this color here, take the other material and paste the color in here, and then just offset it a tiny bit in order to keep that checkered look. Really cool. We can of course also change the floors. So